Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Galaxy and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be going over the most recent update and patch that came out with the Coiled Captors DLC. Now I'm not going to take too much time. I'm just going to jump right in and start reading off to you guys a lot of the changes. There were a lot of changes, like a lot, even a lot of tiny little stuff. I went through, picked out the big stuff, and I'm going to list that to you guys here. If y'all want to read the whole thing with all of the tiny little, even micro changes, I'll leave a link down in the description to the full entire list of patch notes if you want to read that, but if you want just a summary of the important ones, here we go. A big change with the lucky dice, they are now tracked per profile instead of per character, meaning that you don't have to farm for every lucky dice on all of your characters. You just have to get each dice once, and then your loot luck is now going to be shared across all characters. Also, the loot luck UI would appear to fluctuate really inconsistently. I'm sure you guys noticed this. Sometimes you'd load in and it would tell you had 20,000, and then sometimes you load in and it would tell you straight up had 3,000. So that should be fixed. Also, in case you were wondering, that is claimed by developers to have just been a visual glitch. It's not wasn't actually affecting your loot luck, so that's a good one. Another giant change is that the Buffmeister glitch with the Spellborn no longer works, where if you had the Buffmeister in your second slot, the damage from it would scale off the one in the first slot, and you could use that to do ridiculous damage. That's been changed, so you can no longer do that. A change I was really looking forward to is that the Fate Makers can now rename their pets and characters at the quick change stations like you could in the other games. Now, probably one of the biggest changes, other than the whole DLC coming out itself, is that Chaos tiers now go up to level 35. We've already got a 15 level increase from launch just like less than a month ago. And there's also a new tier of gear going to be above Volatile called Primordial, and those drop at Chaos level 35, just the top, just like the Volatiles did with Chaos 20. Another good change to the Chaos runs, though, is that enemies will now spawn a lot quicker. I was having this problem, like running through all the enemies super quick, and a lot of times I was just being slowed down by how long it took the new enemies to spawn, but apparently those are going to be the rates are going to be amped up a lot. There's a ton of big changes with the moon orbs, so here we go, we'll get started. Now, the max before was 4,000, but that has been increased now to 16,000, so a 4 times increase on that, and the value of moon orbs are now much higher. So single moon orb drops are now worth 20 instead of 10, so that's doubled, and the stacks of moon orbs are worth 80 instead of 40, so again, doubled. But with that change being made, the moon orb stacks of 80 are slightly less likely to drop versus the single stacks. The reroll system has been changed up. It now costs an amount of moon orbs depending on the rarity of the gear, with whites and greens being the lowest, and legendaries being more expensive. So it's no longer going to cost the same amount to reroll legendaries versus whites, greens, blues. And also, the cost doubling is being changed. Now, the most a reroll can cost is going to be 4,000 orbs, meaning it's no longer possible to get to a point where the cost of the reroll is more than the capacity of your moon orbs. So you can now indefinitely reroll items, which is actually really big and a huge game changer for endgame, meta farming and stuff. So if you're going for a specific enchantment, you're not gonna get to the end of your rope and have to go get a new piece and start over. They fixed a bunch of small little niche ways that the game was getting crashed, so if you're having problems for some reason with your game crashing here and there, that's probably going to go down. They fixed some of those. They fixed the glitch with the backpack. It would occasionally show the wrong icons for gear or not show icons in general. Now, I haven't jumped in and seen if that claim is true or not, because that wasn't like an occasional glitch for me. I was having that pretty much constantly. I could never really open my inventory or my bank without there being some kind of visual glitch with all the icons, and I kind of hated it, and I really do hope it's changed, but we'll see. Another one that was plaguing me and affecting me quite a lot was the mission logs and active quests disappearing in your journal menu. That's supposed to be fixed now. Also in the myth rank tab, so whenever you open the myth rank tab and you were like going to put a point in, there wasn't really an indicator at first to see which tree that was that needed your next point. You had to click on one first, and then it would tell you after you clicked on the wrong one which one needed to be correct. So there's now an indicator for that. For the Spore Warden and the Graveborn, Spore Warden's Blizzard action skill and the Graveborn's Dire Sacrifice action skill were not able to deal critical hits. That was not intended and is supposedly fixed. And the enchantments that proc with action skill active would continue to persist for an additional period of time after activating, which I actually didn't know that, and I used quite a lot of those enchantments, so I guess we'll see how my builds fare after that change has been made. There have been some big class adjustments to the Berserker and Clawbringer to try to make them a little better. So the Berserker got an increased Dreadwinds damage as it scales with higher levels by 28%. I don't play Berserker or quite know exactly what Dreadwind is, but if you're a Berserker player, there you go, you have that information. And they also addressed a UI concern with the Dreadwind melee frequency appearing incorrectly on the HUD. Clawbringer got more changes in that. They got increased damage radius of Cleansing Flames and melee damage. They got removed the cooldown on the Storm Smite skill. They got increased Storm Smite's damage as it scales with higher levels by 50%. They got improved targeting for Storm Smite, and removes Storm Smite's delay between the puddle and lightning bolt spawning. So hopefully those guys are a bit more up to par with the other classes. Also, a little bonus information for you guys, there is a weekly limited time event going on called Cosmetic Collectors, which increases the chance for cosmetics to drop from bosses, especially head and face gear and armor colors. And that was it for the big changes. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all learned something. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you did, and stick around for more update videos in the future. I'll be covering hot patches and things and DLCs like that. So yeah, like I said, make sure to stick around, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.